Hey guys.
Hiya,
love.
I'm Gabs, and this is my girlfriend Soph.
Hello.
We are your hosts. Welcome to Queer Podcast, where we hear all things queer.
We bring you the best of all the coming out stories, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the outright hilarious.
This is the content that we wish we had during our closeted years.
So stay tuned for our weekly episodes. Bing, bang, bong.
Sing, sang, song.
Ding, dang, dong.
UK hun.
I hope that everyone is watching the UK Drag Race because it's incredible. And we've got an absolute bop out of it this week.
I know, and if you're not, you've probably seen that this is, well, the last time I checked it was number 1 on iTunes.
Yeah, crazy. I can't believe that. Lawrence Cheney.
Be mini babes. Oh, horror.
Tice.
Yeah, but we're absolutely loving Drag Race right now.
Yeah, so anyway, welcome to episode 9 of Queer Podcast, where we've got Annabelle on the show. Who's Annabelle, Gabs?
Annabelle is a dickhead. She's my best friend, I'm allowed to say
Her
that.
Her personality definitely comes across on this podcast.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
On this episode, yeah.
Annabelle comes round to my house before all this shit. She'd come round to my house and my mum would say, I wouldn't even tell my mum that Annabelle was coming round, and as soon as she walked in the door, she'd be like, ah! And she's just so loud. Bless her. My mum was like, oh my god, Annabelle's here. My mum says she hears her before she sees her.
She's here, she's queer, and she's got a coming out story for you.
Anyway, but we love Annabelle, and we're bringing you the juicy goss. Annabelle's going to spill all the tea about her coming out, and even though she's my best mate, like some of it was quite new to me. We haven't really spoken about it in full. I don't think she's really spoken about it chronologically before.
Yeah.
So it was almost like hearing a new story for me too, even though I know her so well. And,
yeah.
You know, I was there for her and with her when she was going through it.
I was gripped the whole time, so I'm sure everyone else will be. So let's hear it then, because this is a longer one, so we'll get to it.
Annabae, take it away.
Do what you need to do, guys. We're just catching up, just chatting and chilling.
Literally, yeah, that's cool. I am excited to hear your story though, because I've only just recently met you, and I don't know anything about your story, so it's cool. Yeah.
So Annabelle is one of my best mates.
I mean, that's a bit of a push, that, I'd say.
Well, I might not be yours, but you're mine.
You have a very love-hate relationship.
Love-hate, yeah. But yeah, this is Annabelle. Say hi.
Wag 150.
Annabelle, introduce yourself.
My name is Annabelle. I am 23 years old. I've known Gabs I've known you for 3-4 years, right? But
but we've known of each other.
I want to say over 7-8 years. Fun fact, Gabby and I met when we were approximately about 15 or 16 at a youth sort of event. And Gabby tells me later on that she was shit scared of me.
That's not quite true. I was intimidated by you because I knew you were gay and I was also gay, but I was very positive.
I don't know how you knew,
oh my God, she's going to read from me.
I didn't even know at that point.
Oh, come on. You dressed like such a dyke.
Excuse me. We just like to call that being a tomboy back in the day. But yeah.
I know. I honestly thought that you would read the gay from me. I was so convinced that you knew I was gay. And I was like, I'm not ready to come out. I can't spend any time with her. I need to stay away from her. Like, what? She's so cool. She's so open about her, like, dressing the way she wants. Like,
she's so cool. Yeah, keep saying that.
And now I get to know you and you're a fucking loser.
My loyal Cuban and all that. Gabby and I went to the same university and lived in the same accommodation. I remember the university that I went to was my second choice. So I remember rocking up with my mum in the car and I was like really worried, really scared. The accommodation that I was in and the university wasn't really my first choice. And like, I didn't have any friends there. So I was really, it was the first time in my life that I was fully by myself. And that's very unlike me. Even when I did transitions from primary school to high school, I had friends and whatever. I remember got to the doors Didn't even walk in. Suddenly, this blonde girl who I recognize comes up to me with your friend Sam at the time, and you go, "Oh my God, Annabelle?" And I was like, "Gabby, hi." And like at this point, me and Gabby had said about maybe like 5 or 6 words because we had some mutual friends. We weren't really close at all, I want to say at this point. And you were like, "Oh my God, are you living here?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." She was like, "Me too." She's like, "You were like, we should catch up." And I was like, "Oh yeah, cool, sick." Anyway, so I remember walking in, my mum was like, "Who was that? She's nice. Who was that? Like, is she Jewish? Like, ooh." So then I remember then we met up a few times.
Annabelle's Jewish too, by the way. That wasn't just like a racist anti-Semitic comment.
We're both Jewish, and we both know each other from the Jewish community. Fast forward maybe like 2 or 3 days, I've not really like even reached out to you, or you've not reached out to me. Yeah. And I remember sitting in my flatmates at the time room, and we were playing the game, so if we like to play where you don't know Jews, it's called Jewish geography. And where basically you go, right, okay, so I know this Jew, do you know that Jew? And then you play Jewish geography. Anyway, we were playing Jewish geography, and then Gabs came up, and then at the time Gabs was with her ex. And then I remember one of my flatmates at the time was like, "Oh yeah, Gabby Eden, she's dating a woman." And I was like, "Is she now? Okay, right." So yeah, and then we started to become friends. And then me and Gabs have just had golf. At the time I was with my ex, and then we would go on double dates together, and
love that. Yeah. And we haven't been on a double date.
Layla is going to listen to this, and her head is going to go so big right now.
I was like, yeah, we went on a double date.
No, we're at that point.
Layla's the very straight friend who we love, but she's like the most stereotypical straight girl.
Yeah, and she literally has a nasty case of it. Like.
Anyway, girls, I'm here to bring this conversation to where it's meant to be, because you two are going to go off on all sorts of tangents. So, Annabelle, you're here to talk about your coming out story. Yes. So let's hear it then.
Let's start at the very
I was literally going to do that. Wow, mad. I've been thinking about how I was going to approach this story for the past couple of days, because I feel like, Gabs, you know some of the line, like you know sort of the lines of it. I don't think you know the ins and outs of it.
Yeah. No.
So growing up, I was an extremely tomboy girl. Mm-hmm. So I literally, all my friends, I went to a really small primary school, all my friends were all boys the whole way through. Mm-hmm. And to this day, majority of my friends are boys. I remember the thought used to kind of come into my head sometimes when I was younger, and it used to completely just like par it off. I was like, you're wrong. But I remember, I think I started getting into like lesbian YouTube and stuff like that, but like inadvertently, and then started having like woman crushes on like actresses. They weren't like crushes. I was just like, oh, I really want to be them.
Yeah.
Obviously now I know that means like I want to have sex with them.
I want to be on them.
I want to be like, with them, not like I want to be them.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this sort of growing of fascinations came, and I was never really interested, especially at the ages like 14 and 15. I was never really interested in like sex or like getting with boys or anything like that. Like all my friends around me were all getting with guys and all that jazz. And to me, I was just like, I'm just not interested in it. Like, it's just not for me. I don't want to do that. Now I know why I wasn't interested in it.
Yeah.
But then I remember one night I was like, right, I keep seeing the L word. I don't know what it is. And like in the back of my head, I knew what it is. I was like, I need to watch it because whatever. So I sat down on my bed. My door is facing me, but made sure that my laptop is angled away from the door. So if my parents were to walk in, I could like tab out. You know what I mean? So they can't see what I'm watching.
Yeah.
I downloaded the entire all 6 seasons of it. Amazing. I watched the first episode. And after that episode, to be completely I was like turned on. I was like, shit.
Yeah.
So at that point, I was like, right, okay, maybe I'm just like a little bit, just a little bit. I didn't fully know at that point, but I think that was sort of like a stimulus for me, because at that point, my whole psyche and everything in my brain completely 180'd, to which I started getting invited to more house parties and stuff like that. And I think because subconsciously I knew that there was an attraction that I just wasn't okay with, I went so straight, like so utterly straight, which was like
Really?
getting with like 3 or 4 boys at each party, like knowing, like, and fully like throwing myself around and not caring so much. And then I remember like these parties we would have like on like Saturday night, and I'd go into school on the Monday, and like all these girls that I didn't speak to were like, Annabelle, like shocked. And I didn't care, because also then at the time, the school that I went to, we had a really small year and a really small above and below. So I knew everyone in my year, the year above, the year below and stuff. So news got around fast. But then I started getting friendly with people from other schools. So I was going to these house parties where it was at the time where, you know, people used to upload like 40, 50 pictures of a night out.
Yeah.
On Facebook. I'd be going...
Dangerous game.
Oh my God, it's so awful. Like I need to delete them all.
Yeah.
I'd be going to these house parties and they would just see these pictures of me and all these random boys and stuff, because I was going to these house parties that were at my school, and I was getting with these boys, hundreds of them.
Yeah.
That's a big extent, but you know what I mean.
Hundreds,
yeah, like, you know what I mean. And these people be like, oh my God, I heard what happened. Like Annabelle, like really surprised, because until that point, I'd never gotten with really anyone. And I think in back of my head, I knew I was queer of some sort. I didn't know what it was, but I knew I had an attraction to, you know, at least women at this point. I just was so not with it that I was doing the opposite to try and push it away.
Yeah, totally.
The thing, I think it's really hard. It's like sometimes people forget that it's harder to come to terms with yourself when you grow up like quite tomboy-y, because you grow up with everyone going, oh, you're gay. Like before you're even willing to admit that you're gay at all, or the feelings come, because you're so bombarded with the people going, oh yes, you're gay, you're gay, you're gay, you're gay. You're like, well, I don't know what I am. Like, don't tell me what to do. So you push it completely and utterly to the side. So at that point, I was like, these people don't know me, X, Y, and Z, whatever. So I started getting with a lot of boys. And then I remember the first time I ever got with a girl, I was at one of these house parties where there was a load of random people. And this girl was bi at the time. She was a year below me. I don't think anyone knew. I think I heard she was bi at this party, and I was like, oh. Hello.
Wow.
Well, hello. Like,
Target. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, bing, 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 bing. I think I'd already gotten like 3 boys that night, so it was all like, you know.
You cover was safe.
Yeah, I was.
And you know, like back in those house parties, it was like all the straight girls got with the straight girls because it's like we love each other and like the boys like it.
Well, Gabs knows my sort of friends that was there. It was like Charlie and people. So like they weren't those sort of boys that were like, we want you to get with us in front of you. Like we're the,
oh my God,
we're like the boys that are like, let's go home and play like League of Legends together. Like, you know what I mean? Like let's go on our Minecraft server. But anyway, so I'd gotten with a few boys that night or whatever, and then I remember I was speaking to this girl, and then we somehow ended up in the bathroom together. And then and something happened. I don't remember exactly what, but I got with her, and I remember my brain went, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Like,
yeah, like that is what it's meant to feel
I was like, "That's the oh shit moment." I'm like, yes. So I remember then we like snuck out the toilet like together, and everyone's like, "Where are you?" And I was like, "I was just having a wee with my friend." Like,
yeah, because girls go to the bathroom together.
Like I literally like never even like spoken to this girl beforehand. Like, and so after that point, I remember at the time I was sort of seeing a guy, and I remember I went to his house a couple of weeks later or something. This is all after like the combination of me getting with this girl, me watching The Outward, and I remember I'm like getting with him or whatever. And he wanted to like whatever, and I remember my brain went, right, yep, that's the off switch. You're not turned on anymore. Like that's off. You're completely off. So at that point, I was like, right. And I remember thinking to myself, I was like, right, okay, cool, I'm gay. That's fine. And now never need to tell a single soul. No one needs to know. Whatever. Obviously, at that point, I think it's hard to come out to people when you've got with one girl and you've not done anything else, and no one's having sex or anything like that. Anyway, so the way it would happen is we'd all have house parties every week. I started getting with everyone and all of this jazz. And then I would slowly start coming out to my friends as bi, because I think at the time, no, I don't think anyone ever came out as just gay. You know what I mean? Like when...
No, I was the same. It's like a stepping stone, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think we're very lucky now that we're at a place where people don't do that anymore, because these kids that are growing up is mad, because they're so exposed to it all the time, and it's so accepting that they can just they know, and they're so assured that like, yes, I'm gay and I need to tell my mother when I'm 14. I was not at that stage. I did not know. No. And especially when I was still getting with guys and stuff. No, so I got drunk every week, and I would start telling my friends when I was drunk. The first person I ever came out to was at a mutual friend of ours, Gabby's house party, and I'm pretty sure you were probably there.
Maybe.
Probably. And it was a guy called Jake Morris, who I'm still friendly with to this day. I'm pretty sure he was the first person I came out to. And he was like an emo, like he used to go to Affleck's on the weekends. And like, obviously in that community, it's not a big deal. So I remember coming out to him and being shit scared while I was drunk. And then he was like, oh, chilled, whatever. And I was like, oh, nice. Wow, like this is super easy. So then I started coming out to a string of my friends, like the ones that I wasn't as close with to first, because it was easier, and then boiling to the point where like my bestest friends. So this is from a spring of from about, I want to say 16 to 18, right? So the last person I ever came out to properly, other than my parents, was my best friend Oscar. And I was so shit scared.
Yeah, you guys have been best mates since you were kids, like really young.
Yeah, like I even came out to my other best mate Jacob beforehand, because I was just scared of Oscar. Not anything to do with him. I was just so scared that, God forbid, like if he didn't accept me, like he's my best friend, like what am I gonna do? You know, he's like my brother. Like anyway, I am at Just Don's house party, okay? Everyone is absolutely obliterated and like badly drunk. She had like a gazebo in the background, and like I remember I was drunk, everyone was so drunk, and I was like, we're gonna do this, like Annabelle, you've got to do this now. I'd already got off with a girl, by the way, in front of him. Like, so like I got off with this random girl, and everyone sort of knew, and I was like, I pulled Oscar aside, I was like, Oscar, I need to speak to you. And he was like, not now, Annabelle, not now. He is, at this point, he's currently dealing with Sam, my housemate, is very violently ill, like throwing up.
Oh God.
And in my stupid drunk brain, I was like, this is the time. Like, this is the time. So I drag him away from Sam as he's like not well. And Oscar's like, what do you want? Like, I'm taking care of my mate, like our friend. Like, what do you want? I was like, I need to tell you something. Like, it's really important. And he was like, what do you like? He was like, hurry up. Like, Sam's like throwing up, and I was like, I'm bi. And he was like, Annabelle, I just watched you get off with a girl. Like, I know. Is that it?
Like, are you serious? You've taken me away from my nursing duty to tell me that?
He was like, I literally just watched you neck off with a girl. Like, of course, it's, it's fine, whatever, bye. And they just left me. At that point, I was like, cool, I'm out to, like, everyone now. And this is cool. But then, like, university happened, which is, was, I think, it's a very weird, mad, crazy time. It was like, I moved into a flat with girls that I used to go to school with just randomly. And these are girls that I wasn't friendly with at all. They're like, if you think of a social spectrum, I was at one end and they were at the other end. It doesn't mean doesn't mean they're bad people at all. Like, it's just not my sort of person.
Yeah.
So I remember we moved in and I was trying to be friendly and social. You've got freshers, obviously, where you've got to go out and all that jazz. The nights out they wanted to go to were very different from the ones I wanted to go to, but I sort of just bit my tongue and like just went with it.
Booze for Jews versus rock.
But I would go to all those nights and stuff, and they were all friends with their friends, and I'd be going to these prees, and I was like, like everybody like, Annabelle, hi, and I was like, oh hi, like, oh, I'm not enjoying this. When you're living with these people, obviously university is like a time where you sort of do all of this jazz and you find yourself and all the jazz. It was really hard to start to come to terms, really, where you know who you are and being fully independent and fully acting on it when you're still sort of at home with these girls that I just don't know. And they just like they just remind me so much at home, and they know everyone at home and like all of this stuff, and I'm clearly not ready. It was just so hard because I was like, I don't know what to do here. Like, I felt like I was living a double life because I was like, I can't go if I really want to go and meet some girls and get with a girl in a club and all of that jazz, but I can't. Like, so the whole way through freshers, I was like getting with guys and like,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a photo of me on Facebook. And someone had a night out at Trent Army, which is for night, like one of the big nights during freshers. This is a really funny story actually. So it's Trent Army. and you've got to dress up in army gear, right?
I remember
So
that.
the girls I was living with was like, oh, does anyone have any camouflage? Like, what are you gonna wear? They're all wearing like, they rock out and they're wearing like nice camo crop tops with a nice army green skirt, and like that's it really, and maybe some like lines.
Yeah.
And they rock out. Oh, they were like, what are you gonna wear, Annabelle? I was like, oh, right, so I've got a camouflage backwards hat, I've got a camouflage like button down shirt, got some nice black jeans, and you know what? I've even got camo shoes as well. Like,
all we're gonna see is
my daily get up.
yeah. And I remember thinking to myself, I was like, oh my god, like, Annabelle, like, you look so fucking dykey right now. Like, these straight girls in like crop tops and shit, and you're here rocking up in a full head to toe camo outfit. Like, how does no one fucking know, for fuck's sake?
Look like you're about to go paintballing.
Yeah. So anyway, just getting with guys and stuff, and I was feeling really sort of, I hated my first month and a half at uni. I hated it. I wanted to go home.
You're trying to be someone else, or
like literally,
you wasn't fully yourself. Yeah.
I wasn't fully myself in the night. Like, I didn't have friends basically, like, because these girls, I was trying to hang out with these girls who just weren't my people, and they had friends already and everything. Like, I wasn't gonna go and hang out with them because like they had completely and utterly different interests. So I remember like after the first month of university, like I was really like down and depressed because I was like, I feel awful. I was like, I've moved away from home. I don't know anyone here remotely that are close to me, and I'm just like miserable. I'm not having fun. Like, this is supposed to be like you're having fun and going out, and I'm just not enjoying myself. And then I finally went out, and luckily my friend Jacob went to uni of. I dragged him to the Rock Society event with me, forced him to go with me, and then I made friends. And then, like, as Gabby knows, these people are like my family now, and I
Oh yeah,
they're your people. Yeah.
So I started making these friends. I distanced myself, and everything's fine. Started going out of my comfort zone and sort of like getting with girls and all of this stuff. And I remember, I don't think I ever actually came out to those friends ever. I remember having a discussion with my friend Anna about it, maybe like 9 months into being friends with her. And I was like, oh yeah, you know I'm bi, right? And she was like, right, and like, you do. She was like, first of all, like, you're probably gay. And I was like, oh, what do you want about Anna? Like, no, I'm not. Like,
me.
Yeah. I love cock. I love. I don't. But I remember, and she was like, yeah, no, you never needed to come out. Like, we all just knew, which was so nice and refreshing. I was actually listening to the episode you did with Rosie and Lee, and you made a really good point. They were talking about how you always have to come out, like always. So obviously, like, I feel like myself compared to some like femme lesbians don't have, like, I don't have to come out as much as like maybe you, Gabs, like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But like not having to like come out at that time was great because it got rid of the whole pressure and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway. Got my first girlfriend, everything's cool. Then second year uni happens, move out, you know, with my friends and all of that jazz, anything. So I get my first girlfriend when I'm 18, completely and utterly head over heels in love with her. Mm-hmm. It ends after like 6 months just to do with some issues, nothing bad. I'm still friends with her, we're still really good friends, you know what I mean? Then the summer of 2016, I go to America for the first time, and I do Camp America. It's a big defining feature. Don't shit on me. I loved it, had the time of my life. I basically did the gay thing and came home with a girlfriend that lives 3,000 miles away. So what had happened was I got with my girlfriend when I was 18, just nearly like halfway through first year of uni. We broke up, I want to say like a few months later or whatever. And then I went to America with the idea of like, I'm gonna fuck bitches. I'm hot. I'm English. Everyone's gonna love the accent. Like, I'm gonna get bear poo and like, you know what I mean? Come back with a girlfriend, which is completely and utterly what the thing is. So anyway, so I have a girlfriend. Everything's fine. Everything's chill or whatever. At this point, me and my girlfriend are kind of getting quite serious, right? We'd been dating, I want to say, for a year at this point, and as Gabs knows, Gabs, did you meet her? Yeah, you did meet her, yeah.
I did,
yeah. You know, I was head over heels in love with her, as I apparently do with fucking everyone.
Again.
Fuck! I am allowed to swear, right? Yeah.
Definitely.
I was going to say, because I'm sure...
You literally, about half an hour, well, about 10 minutes ago, you literally just said, I love cock.
Because to me, I don't feel like I'm like on a pot. Like, this is me just like speaking to my friends.
It is.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, that's how it's supposed to feel.
Yeah.
That's nice. Anyway, carry on.
So yeah, we were getting really serious at this point. I was about 19 years old, and obviously I was in love again, and I was going back to camp. An incident happened where I'd gone home for the weekend, and I think it was like the January or something. I was 19, second year of uni, living life. I'd gone home. My whole family was home. My sister had come home from London. I think it was my grandpa's birthday or something.
Can I just ask?
Yeah.
Did they know?
No.
Like about your first girlfriend or this? Okay, so this is all hidden. Like you've had girlfriends and it's been hidden. Okay.
Because my thing was like, I had the attitude of, I didn't want to tell my parents because my perception was, I don't think they're going to take it well at all. I thought my mum was going to take it fine because my mum's mum and my dad, who I love, but is a lot more sort of traditional and strict, was going to take it awful, and it was just going to be like this really bad thing. In my head, I was like, I am not going to tell them until I have a serious girlfriend. It's a lot harder to come out to them when you go, oh yeah, I'm gay, and you're single, in my opinion, because then in a way you've got nothing to prove for
That's
it.
They're just like, they're just sleeping around, you know.
Well, if you say,
they'll be like, how do you know?
Yeah, exactly. Well, if you go, hi mum, dad, I'm gay, this is my girlfriend, Patricia or whatever, like you did.
Said no one ever.
What are you on about? I'm actually seeing a Patricia right now.
Who you're head over heels in love with.
Yeah, who obviously I'm head over heels in love with. But yeah, no, like obviously, like you say, like, oh, this is my girlfriend. Like they can see, right? Okay, you're actually in a relationship. This isn't just this is not a phase. So obviously, my girlfriend I had when I was 18, the only person I had told was my brother, which is weird because I wasn't really that close with my brother. And I think the only reason why I told my brother was because I think he was dropping me off, and it was like I was hiding a lot. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he was sort of being the transporter of me going places and all that jazz. And
also it's easier coming out to people that you're not as close to.
Yeah, exactly. And also, like, my brother's autistic as well. So if I told him, it'd be fine. I know he just wouldn't care. So I don't even remember the story. Like, I think I just told him in the car once, and he was like, oh, okay, man. And like, that was it. I was like, sick.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah, literally. And then I came out to my sister before I came out to my parents, actually. Oh my God. It's like so long. This feels like a lifetime ago. Like,
it's really hard to revisit sometimes.
Yeah, it does. When you put it in a solid story and chronologically, it does. It's kind of like, oh wow, did that happen? And
because this whole thing has not been in chronological order. But I told my brother first, and I told my sister because I had a friend called Hannah, who I'm still friendly with now, and she's bi now. But at the time, she was gay, and it was a big deal. And I remember on a night out, and she was like, "I'm gonna text my mum and tell her I'm gay." And I was like, Hannah, like, I don't think you should do that. Like, I don't think you texting your mum of all people, telling her that you're gay while you're drunk, you're going to regret it in the morning. Like, don't do that.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I'm going to do it. I was like, Hannah, don't do it. I'm telling you. And it was like a cycle of things that would happen. Like every 3 nights we would go out and she'd be like, I'm going to text my mum tonight. And I was like, don't do it. Like, because the morning's going to happen. You're going to wake up. Anyway, she did it and she didn't regret it. It was good, whatever. It kind of, whatever. Good. It went all right. I don't fully remember. But because of that, I think the same night she texted her mum, I texted my sister because I was drunk. And I was like, I'm just gonna fucking do it. And I think I sent her a text like, by the way, I'm gay, okay, bye. Like,
it's such an Annabelle way.
Like at like 3 a.m.
We literally just spoke to someone who wrote 2,000 words to their parents. And then you're there like, I'm gay, okay, bye.
Literally, like,
and like we said, everyone has their own special way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, like I wasn't that close with my sister at the time, and my sister seemed very far away from me, and she didn't live at home. She lived in London. My parents live in Manchester, so obviously that, there was no way, unless she was going to ring them and tell them, there was no way there was going to be communication. And I know she wouldn't do that. And I think I felt better. I think obviously at the time I was with my girlfriend at the time and I was feeling very serious about it. So I told her, and I woke up to like 3 missed calls, and I was like, oh fuck, Annabelle, what have you done? Like, what have you done? I remember ringing her back. I was also like hanging out my ass. Like, I was like, hi Lily, and she was like, interesting text you sent me last night. And I was like, I mean, yeah. And she was like, right, I'm surprised. And I was like, what?
Really?
Like, you're surprised? And she was like, yeah, I just didn't think. And I was like, are you feeling all right, hun? Like, are you all right? Like, how are you surprised? She was like, well, it's a lot to take in, obviously. And I was like, yeah, obviously, like, whatever, just do what, you know, you need to do. End of story there. Anyway, now we're home. 19.
Yeah.
Come home to my parents. And my sister's there as well. I think we're like at the Trafford Centre, like going shopping. And we're in Zara, right? We're all having a bit of a banter and all of this jazz. I see these pairs of shoes that look like Doc Martens, right?
Oh my God. Shit.
Oh my God. Shit. I really wanted a pair of Docs because partly because they're quite gay looking, but also I was in like the rock scene at uni. All my friends were goths.
Yeah.
And they were all wearing Docs. And like, they really, I wanted a pair of Docs, honestly. They'd say.
I just want to fit in more.
Yeah, I want to put some eyeliner on and wear a pair of Docs. Like, and I remember asking my mum, being like, with the insinuation of, I like these shoes. Do you like these? And she was like, no, they're lesbian shoes. She's like, you would.
Oh my God, that's exactly what
Oh,
they are.
no.
She'd be like, they're lesbian shoes. You wouldn't want to wear them. And I was like,
Oh my God.
funny about that, eh? Like, it's like, oh shit. Anyway, so we're in Zara. We're walking around, and at this point, my dress sense is obviously, now I'm fully 100% comfortable buying stuff from the men's section. I exclusively buy stuff from the men's section. At the time, I wasn't 100% comfortable with it because I thought it would be a massive sign to my mum that I was gay. And I started to do it because a lot of it was to do with the fact that I was gay, but also a lot of it was to do with comfortability, which is a completely different topic of like, the short skirt is the way that the fashion industry is and the way that women's clothing is. I do not feel comfortable in it because, you know, a woman's body is like an hourglass and they fit it like an hourglass and I just want something straightened down. Anyway, which is yeah, exactly. You feel me, like, and we're quite lucky now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Like most of my clothes are men's clothes.
Yeah, and luckily now the way that clothing is, a lot of things is just unisex, so it's chilled.
Yeah, love that.
So we're in Zara and I see these shoes that look like Docs, and I remember going to my mum and I was like, like, these are cool. Do you like these? And she was like, no, Annabelle, they're lesbian shoes. And I was like, cool, no doubt. And that was really the end of the conversation, really. And then I remember on the drive home, me, my sister, and my mum were having conversations about university and sort of just like partying. And then we started talking about drugs and like sort of started disclosing some of the things I'd done at university, just because I was close to my mum, and in a way, my parents grew up in the 70s, like the 60s and the 70s. So I'd known about my parents' past. I was telling them about mine, but I was like, don't worry, like I'm safe. Like I'm not doing everything every night. Yeah. If any, it was more of it. I wasn't gloating. I was more like telling them like, hey, like this is the thing. Like obviously it happens. I want you to know that I am safe and I'm responsible. If I do it, then like I know how to do it responsibly and I'm not an idiot sort of way. So that was sort of my way of telling my parents, like, I like to party, but like I'm safe, so don't worry. Anyway, my sister sort of blew that conversation up a bit because my sister's very the opposite of me, very like, you know, goody two shoes, never did anything and all of that jazz. So I remember there being like this big argument about this, but like not really an argument. And then anyway, I went back to Nottingham, and then I remember getting a phone call off my mum. It was my sister or whatever, and she was like, mum's been in tears over the phone to me, like out of that, after that conversation we had in the car and all of that jazz. And I remember this being this massive argument, and I was like, why are you telling her that I'm doing drugs? Like I'm not a massive druggie, like this is not what it is. Like she's like, well, you need to speak to her, like sort of thing. And I was like, right, okay, cool. So I ring her up and I was like, yo, like what's going on? Like what has Lily told you? Like what is this whole thing going on? I was like, I'm not a druggie. Like I wanted to tell you this so you knew that like I did drugs like once, like you know, like I'm safe, like I'm not like
it was one time.
Yeah, it was one time on my band camp. Like it wasn't like I was like snorting coke every night. Like I was just telling you that I'm safe and like I want to be honest with you, because especially when I was growing up, my parents let me do a lot of stuff because I would always tell them what I was doing. So my parents and I have always had a line of communication that was honest, except from obviously this massive big, you know, lie in my life, which was horrible. Because I remember like faking conversations with my mum being like, oh yeah, I want to find a boyfriend, like talking about that. Like I remember like saying the words coming out of my mouth, like talking about, you know, when I get married to a man, my heart like sinking because I was like, I know it's just not going to happen. Yeah. Anyway, so we're having this conversation. I was like, I'm not a druggie. And she was like, that's not what I'm worried about. I was like, what then? And she was like, the conversation about the shoes. And I was like, what? And she was like, the shoes in Zara. And I was like, oh. And she was like, you know, the lesbian shoes. At this point, it all happened very fast. And I said to her, I said, well, what if I am? And she was like, what? I went like, Mum, yeah, like I'm gay. And then it was like silence on the other side of the phone. And then all I heard her going, what? And I was like, yeah, no, like I am. I was like, at this point I started to panic because as I discussed earlier, I thought that when I eventually came out to my parents, I thought my dad was going to take it really badly. My mum was going to be really supportive, because the way my mum is me and my dad clashed a lot when I was growing up because we're the same person. So I knew that he's a lot stricter, and I thought he was going to take it really badly. And then my mum would be like, it's fine, don't worry, it's fine. And the fact that my mum was silent, I was like, fuck. I was like, shit. And then she was just like, why? And I was like, what do you mean why? And she was like, have you not tried it with boys? Like, why? I was like, yeah. I was like, do you think I want to be like this? Like, it's a hard life. Like, now I think about now, I can't imagine being straight. I don't think I'd ever want to be straight. But at the time I was like, I'm not trying to be difficult. I'm not doing this. And then she was like, why? Just kept repeating why. And it was like, she was freaking out clearly. So then I started freaking out. And so I was like, it's fine. Like, I was like, I've got a girlfriend. Like, I started telling her about my girlfriend. I was like, she's Jewish. Like, it's fine. Like, she's Jewish. I remember mum being like, I don't care. And I heard my dad shouting in the background going, I care. Like,
so your dad's listening in?
Yeah, which is mad.
Okay.
Because I think what happened was, I think my mum had obviously had the conversation with my dad. She said this to me, like, do you reckon that means this? Like, she's gay or something? Like, which is mad, because I don't think they'd ever spoken about it. I don't know. So my mum's freaking out. I was like, she's Jewish. And at this point, I can't remember what happened because I blacked out. And I remember just the phone call ending.
Oh, God.
And then I burst into tears. For anyone that doesn't, I don't cry. Like, I'm not an emotional person. Like, I just don't care. I bawled. Like, I bawled my eyes out.
I mean, you can't take that back. Once them words have been said, you cannot take that back. Like, this is a whole journey that you're going on now.
Yeah, I was like, I've said it now, you fucked it. Like, I literally remember thinking to myself, I was like, why did you say that? Like, if I could have taken it back, I would have taken it back. So I remember bawling my eyes out, and then I remember walking downstairs, and my flatmate Connor comes down. My flatmate Connor is a great guy. He's just like, he's a bit weird, but he's Connor. Like, we love him. Like, you know what I mean? I remember I was like clearly shaken. He was like, morning. I was like, all right. He's like, yeah. I went, I just came out to my parents. He went, all right, cool. And just like left the room. At this point, I'm like freaking out because my mum's freaking out and everything. And then my dad rang me then.
Is this the same day?
Yeah, same day, like maybe like 45 minutes later.
Okay.
My dad rang me and he was like, it's fine. Don't worry. It's fine. And he said, it's really bad. He went, it's not like you've got cancer. Like, it's fine. Like, you don't have cancer at least. Like, it's fine. That is his way. But the thing is, but the thing is, I get what my dad was trying to say at that point.
Yeah.
It's really bad how he phrased it. That was my dad's way of saying, like, it's okay. You're not unwell. You're not dying.
Yeah.
It's fine. Like, don't worry.
Yeah, like, it's not bad news. It's just something we've got to deal with.
Exactly.
Like, process. Yeah.
Exactly. So then I ended that phone call, and then I remember going to my flatmates. I was like, I'm gonna get absolutely wankered tonight. I didn't speak to my mum for about 4 or 5 days. She just didn't ring me at all, which is weird because my mum is the most lovely person in the world, and she would ring me every night. I'm not talkative. My mum still rings me like every night or every 2 nights, and it's like, hi, what are you having for dinner? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And so for my mum just to have no communication with her was weird. Like, that was strange. And I remember speaking to my sister. I rang my sister. I told my sister, and she was like, yeah, I know. She told me. She rang me in tears, and she was just like, let her process it. Let her just deal with it. I was like, I'm freaking out though, because I thought I'd just been disowned because my parents weren't speaking to me. My mum is not talking to me. My mum loves me unheartedly with her entire 100% of her heart. I'd never heard that tone of voice with my mum, and I've never heard it since. So it went, maybe like a week went past or something, and I'd still not heard anything from my mum or anything. So I told my friends, like my friends at home or whatever. I think I told Oscar, and I remember Oscar being like, look, if they kick you out, like, you can stay at mine. Like, don't worry. Like, you've got a family. Like, it's fine. And I genuinely thought I was about to get kicked out of my house because there was no communication, nothing at all. Anyway, I think a week goes by or something, and I get a call from my mum. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I remember we both agreed that I was going to come home that weekend so we could talk. So I remember coming home, and my mum gave me a massive hug. And I was like, phew.
That's nice, yeah.
I think I like bawled into her chest.
Oh.
I was like, cool, so we're Gucci in the hood. And then she was like, let's go out and let's talk. I was like, oh, I hate talking. I don't want to talk. Like, I just want to just
buy docs and shit.
Yeah, I was like, let's go on the buy Annabelle lots of presents day where you just buy me presents because you feel bad. Like,
one present for each day that you've not spoken to me.
She should have just bought you a pair of docs, and that would have been her way of saying like, yeah, I accept.
Honestly, she should have. Like, that would have been just the best present ever because I would have been happy. Anyway, we went out, and I remember us sitting in Yo Sushi, of all places, in the Arndale. And I told her how I knew, when I knew, and all of that jazz. And I think at that point, she started to feel a bit better about it because I think she just felt shocked. And, because I think you forget when you're coming out that it's such a big deal for yourself because you feel personally like you've been on this really long journey. Like, I came out when I was 19. I started realizing I was gay at like 14, 15. So what? That's like, someone do the maths, like 6 years or something? Is that right? Yeah.
Wait, yeah.
7.
Wait, say it again.
Wait, I need to... No, it's
like
not.
4
years.
5 years.
I don't know, does it now?
So yeah, like 20 years of figuring myself out.
45 years. But you're on like a 3 or 4 years like journey.
Yeah.
Where you finally accepted yourself, and it's been long and it's hard. You forget that when you tell these people, they've not seen your struggle.
Yeah, it's so instant.
Yeah.
Like, their reaction is from that moment that you've told them,
Which is crazy. So I kind of got more of an understanding of, right, I get it, you're processing. Because for you, this is new news. Because we always forget, and Gabs, I always say this to you, like when we talk about people coming out and stuff, we always forget that parents have an image of you. Especially my parents had an image of how all 3 of us were going to grow up, and
that's just shattered.
Yeah, completely and utterly shattered. Like, the whole thing's just been destroyed.
Yeah.
I was like, right, I understand now. I need to let my mum process. And my mum said something really interesting to me. So my uncle's gay, right? And I only found out that my uncle was gay when I was like 16 or something, maybe, I don't know, which is mad because my uncle's like flamboyantly gay. Like, he like lives in LA with his partner and like is an actor and like all of it.
Drinking iced coffee.
Yeah, like having like mimosas and like, you know what I mean? Like, incredibly gay. And my mum loves her brother. Like, they love each other so much. And then my mum said to me, she was like, yeah, I had a really hard time with Andrew came out, and that blew my mind because obviously they're so close. And I thought my mum was going to be fine because her brother's gay, so if her daughter's gay, she can see that her brother's having a fine life and everything. So I was like, right, okay, so I think you're just uncomfortable with homos essentially. That conversation helped a lot of things. I was still in talking contact with my mum, but then my mum said something at the end of that conversation, and she was like, but you're not going to like post photos of you like kissing girls and stuff on your Facebook and stuff.
That's so hard to hear. Like, that they're not proud of you, of like your life choices.
Totally.
Or not a choice of who you are.
And so I remember going, no, of course not, because anyway, like, I'm not, like, you both know, I'm not that type of person anyway. I don't post photos of me and my partner kissing, and I sort of just keep it to myself because A, that's gay as fuck. And be like, no one asks to see that content. It's just cringy and it's like, whatever. Like, I would post photos of me and my partner, but not like, if you're from an outside eye, you don't necessarily know that's my partner. It's just like, and if you know, you know. So that happened. I felt a lot better. And then I remember having a really bad conversation with my dad where my dad was like, this is going to be a really hard life for you. Like, I'm trying to protect you. Like, I know people that have come out in the Jewish community and they've been excommunicated and all this jazz. And I remember having an argument with my dad. He was like, you're going to get treated differently in the workplace and all of this jazz. And I was like,
like, mate, I'm a female anyway. That shit happens to me anyway.
I remember saying to him, I was like, you're so fucking wrong. I was like, I'm more likely going to get hired. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, I was like, my parents were in the late 60s, right?
Yeah.
I said to them, the generation that you grew up with, that might have been the case, but our generation is not like that. That's not how workplaces work. Yeah. I understand it, but you're wrong. I remember it being an argument. Yeah. Anyway, I went back to uni and everything was fine. The last thing I remember, maybe like a week after I came back home, I remember I posted a photo of me and my flatmate I got tagged in on Facebook. And it was a photo of me and her in a club. Really cute photo, by the way. I remember I was like holding her and I'm like kissing her on the cheek, and it's really cute and it's one of my favorite photos. And then my mum rang me up in tears and was like, you promise you ain't gonna do that. I was like, what do you mean? She was like, I've had Andrew asking me and da-da-da-da. I went, well, tell them. I went, also, that's my flatmate. I went, I'm not doing anything wrong. And this was the first time I sort of snapped at them because I'd sort of let my mum process it for ages. And it was the first time I sort of attacked them. And I was like, look, I'm not doing anything wrong. I said I wouldn't do this anyway, which is a stupid thing for me to agree to.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, it's a difficult situation, isn't it? They shouldn't really have asked you to do that, but journey of acceptance is.
Yeah, it's the understanding of that my parents, they need time to process, which I fully understand. And then I think a couple of months passed and my mum was still just not doing well with it at all. She was kind of hiding it, but not really. Like, I didn't know she was doing that badly as she was. And it was clear that she was struggling to accept it, which I was being so patient. I remember there was a girl in our school that came out the year below me, or a guy or whatever, that came out and was like, I'm gay, fuck all of you guys. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like when I came out really subtly. I came out really politely. I didn't fight back and let them have the time they needed to, accept it. And it was getting to a point now where it'd been like 4 or 5 months and she's still not okay with it. And I remember my sister told me about this, I want to say a month after it happened or whatever. And me and my sister are very different people. And this like gave me respect for my sister, which I'd never had before. And which is mad because she's my sister, whatever, you know what I mean? But I remember apparently my mum had rang my sister up crying and freaking out again. And my sister literally turned around and said, grow the fuck up. This is not your issue now. You've got a child that's struggling. She's clearly more upset than you. You need to just get over this. This is not your issue anymore. Like, you've had your time, like, get the fuck over it and just move on. There's nothing wrong with her. She's fine. Just love your child.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
At that point, my sister told me and I was like, cheers, mate. Like, it's mad. And at that point, things have gotten better. And I came out really late. I want to say late in life. I came out when I was 19, which is late in gay years, I want to say. A lot of people come out when they're like 15, 16. And things are better. I don't think they'll ever be at the point where they'll want it to be. But I think it's weird because I think different families' levels of acceptance is different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For myself, as someone that I've only brought one partner home, which I've obviously had more than one girlfriend, but obviously I'm fit, right? Yeah. Look at me. No, I brought one partner home who was the girl that I was dating seriously when I came out to her. I think it helped because the girl I was dating was quite feminine. And I think my mum fully thought I was going to bring like a fucking butch dyke home. She was like, oh, like she's like a woman. Like, and that helped a lot. But other than that, I haven't introduced my parents to another partner. And it is good. We just don't talk about it.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe things will change, if you are in like a long-term relationship and she sees how happy you are.
Yeah.
Like, that will change, because that was, I mean, hearing your story is like very similar to mine in a way.
Right.
Like, a lot of what you're saying is very similar to mine. Especially like you growing up and figuring it out as well. Like, a lot of that I relate to. But my family have only really shown an interest, and I've really felt accepted. And not only accepted, like, they are proud of who I am and proud of Gabs and me being with Gabs, just because she sees how happy I am with her.
Yeah, totally.
And like, that has been so, it's so nice to feel that way. And that has been because they see how happy I am.
Yeah, totally. I feel that. I don't know. I think things will change when that happens. It's not bad.
No.
It's just obviously the way my family is all my brother wants is a girlfriend. And unfortunately, he just doesn't have one, in the way it is, and with his autism and everything. Yeah. We don't talk about relationships in our family. We never have, and we never will, really. Like, nothing, unless it's serious. Like, my sister's been with her fiance for about 6-7 years, and they're getting married. Like, that's the most serious relationship that's happened. So because we don't talk about relationships in our family, like, Gabs' mum would go like, oh, you seeing any boys? Or before you came out to your grandparents were asking if you had boyfriends and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, all the time.
My parents have never asked me in my entire life if I had a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or if I was seeing anyone or anything.
Yeah.
Which might be because of myself, because I don't want to tell them or whatever. It works both ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or my grandparents have asked me once. Like, it's not a conversation that's ever spoken in my family. So I get why we don't talk about it and stuff. But I think I've been testing the waters recently.
Oh, really?
I had a realization the other day. I said, well, is it because I don't like talking about it with them because I feel uncomfortable because I think they feel uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Or is it because they feel uncomfortable about it?
Both?
I think it's both. I do think it's both.
Probably.
I do think it is that. I think and so, like, the other day I was at my parents' house. I mean, I wasn't because it was the pandemic, but let's say, for example, I was just picking some things up, I was just picking some things up, in fact.
Yeah. For a couple of days.
No, like I would stay over at my parents' house. God forbid. They've got no beer there. But no, I literally went to go pick something up. I think I was getting like some wires and something. I have this great photo, right, that my friend Hallie gave us when we were leaving camp. And my second year at camp, I was in a clique, and it was me, my girlfriend of the time, Hallie, and my friend Sophia, who both of them I still speak to today. And there's a really cute photo of the four of us. I remember I was there and I was like, oh, I feel like I should take this photo with us because it's a really nice photo from my flat. But then also, like, I just want to just put my thumb over like my ex's face. Like,
oh yeah.
No disrespect to her. I was just joking around.
Yeah.
And I remember my mum and my brother laughed and sort of took it like, ha ha ha, there, you know. So I think it's interesting. I don't know at what point will my parents and my family and I will be fully comfortable, because I don't know if I'm even out to my grandparents. I know I'm out to my grandma. Oh my god. Okay. This story. So
go on, give it to us.
Oh my god, it was so awkward. So my grandma lives in LA, right, with my uncle now. She wasn't doing well, so we went out and surprised her. I was in the States at the time. I flew over. So we're having this really nice week-long sort of holiday in LA. And I remember my uncle took us to Catalina Island, which is an island off of the coast of California. And you've got to get a ferry there. And we're on the ferry back. And I don't even know how this fucking came up. My grandma started talking to me about something. And we're all sat like in like a little like curve, and it's all open seating. I'm a very loud person, so imagine what my family's like, you know?
Yeah.
It's not like any of us are ever quiet. And we were talking, and all I remember is my grandma going, well, you do like women, right? I was like, what?
Oh my god.
I looked at my sister, and my sister's like giving me like evils. Like, she was like, what the fuck is going on? I was like, I have no idea. Like, I had like a full telepathic conversation with my sister in the like 0.5 seconds. I was like, what the hell is going on? She was like, I have no idea. And I remember saying to my sister, I was like, yeah, I don't even know if grandma knows I'm gay. Oh, Andrew. I was like, I don't know if I'm ever going to come out because, you know, it's a weird thing, but whatever. And then she said that to me, and I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Is this just randomly? She just randomly said you like girls, right?
Yeah, like out of the blue. We weren't even talking about that. And then she went, I mean, you do prefer the company of women, right? Which is such a weird way of putting it.
Yeah.
It's such like a grandma way of putting it.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah. And she went, right, I thought so. I remember I was so embarrassed and just taken off guard. And then she proceeded to then go, I mean, it's fine. She was like, obviously, like, I'm fine with Andrew. So, like, you love who you love. Like, that's all that matters. And
Grandma.
It was so nice, but I was so utterly taken aback by the whole thing because nothing in the conversation was talking about. I like looked at my mum, and my mum's like, everyone
no one has any. To this day, we still don't know how Grandma Marks knows.
Stella,
she just
got
knows.
it. Like Stella just went. So you do like the company of women, right? And I was like, what the fuck?
She's got the biggest gaydar of all.
Yeah, legit. And then she was like, thought so. She's like, I've been asking Susan for ages and she's just not been telling me. So she was like, I just thought I'd get it over and done with and asking myself.
Yes. We love it when they lose their filter.
Yeah.
Love it.
I remember walking off that ship and I was like to my sister, I was like, what the fuck has just happened? Like, honestly.
That is so funny. Oh my God.
But mad. But other than that, yeah, so I know that side knows, but I don't think my grandparents know or my cousins or anything like that. They must like.
I mean, when they meet you, they will.
What are you on about? Like, you're right, Grumps, so are you?
Crack open a beer, love.
Yeah, do it on my tooth, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it really freaks me out to do that.
It's so good. But yeah, that's basically it.
I love that story.
Man.
I was gripped.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was gripped.
Yeah, do you know what? So much of that I didn't know either. Yeah. The little details I didn't know.
So if you could give a piece of advice to baby Annabelle.
Baby Annabelle.
Third time lucky we got that. I'm glad we got
that. What would that be like to your pre-closeted self?
Few things, I think. First of all, you're so fucking annoying. Like, shut the fuck up. Second of all, I would be like, it's fine. It's okay. All of these feelings you're feeling are fine, and it's gonna take a while. And things aren't going to fall the way that you think it's going to do, and that's all right. You just need to let people sort of just summer and accept it, which doesn't mean they don't love you. It just means they need some time to change and adapt. Yeah, but just, I think the main thing I would say to them is everything happens for a reason. Like, everything really does happen for a reason, and you'll realize that you are this incredible, fabulous dyke, that you'll just go with the flow. Like, just go with it. Like, it's chilled. Yeah. And also, lastly, I would say it's boring to be straight. That's all.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Don't be boring, be a gay.
Yeah, no, legit. Like, all those guys you're getting with, it's all right. It's cool.
Yeah.
It'll be worth it in the end.
Yeah. Whatever journey you need to take, it's okay.
Yeah.
It will always work out in the same way in the end, no matter how much you try.
Yeah. But yeah, as much as you repress it, but also, like, obviously, just come out when you're ready. It's all right. Do it safely. You know, do it when you're not gonna. To anyone that's wanting to come out, like, make sure you're safe. That's the most important thing. And just remember that you might be envious of, you know, these people looking at these, like, Instagram influencers and stuff. Like, you might be envious of their life, but, like, your story is your story, and you're still special just because you don't have 100,000 followers. Like, that's your precious moment. So just take your time and don't rush it because you want to be like them. Yeah, like, you're a special kid. Don't worry. Like,
oh, that's beautiful.
Now we all cry. Well, this has been really fun, guys. Even though I'm sweating my bollocks off.
It's the nerves, the podcast nerves.
Wait, what would you guys? Wait. Have you guys given your advice?
No, well, we're gonna do our stories on a different episode.
I was gonna say, no, it's mad. Well, this has been really fun, guys.
Thanks so much for coming on.
I'd like to thank you both for having me on, and also I'm a lesbian. Okay, bye.
My God.
Bye.
Annabelle, what a gal. It seems like her mum hasn't healed from it, but it's all good. Do you get me? Like, it's not, she's not fully there yet, but it's still all good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, maybe they don't really talk about it, but like Annabelle was saying, they don't really talk about their dating lives anyway.
Yeah.
When I went round, you know, I'm really close to the dad. # David. Love you, David. Also love you, Sue. But me and David are tight. But yeah, they know I'm gay, and they don't have a problem with me, you know. And I feel comfortable, totally welcome there. I don't feel, you know, I'm not made to feel any different. Yeah. Maybe some people just don't talk about it. Like, Annabelle she's great. She's always been authentically Annabelle, and it's one of the things I love about her the most. But yeah, what about that? A paradox.
I know.
A very unlikely catalyst to...
And her nan, oh my God, so good. I love when nans, like, lose their filter. A good story about that, Gabs. I think I've told you before, but anyway, my nan, like, really wants me to have kids, like, right now. You know what I mean? Like, you need to be pregnant, you need to have a family and all this right now. And she said to me, Soph, you know, even if you don't want a relationship, just go and have a one night stand. Like, just go and have a one night stand.
Proper
I was like, Nan, that is, I mean, I didn't say this, I just, like, politely laughed it off, like, oh, you. But, oh, you, stop it. But I was like, that is the worst advice you could give to your granddaughter.
I know. That's like the last piece of advice you'd expect from your grandma. Like,
go have a one night stand, girl. Go get knocked
up.
Go on,
girl. Go be a bit of a hoe. Go on.
You can borrow me skirt. Oh God.
On me kitty heels. That'll bring in all the boys.
And come back and I'll make you a nice soup.
Don't worry, it'll be filled with vitamin C and nutrients for the little one.
Oh God. Anyway, next week, episode 10, we are speaking to the one and only Smashby. He's on the socials at Smashby Official. He is a LGBTQ plus pop artist. He is a bullying ambassador.
He's a bully.
He's a bullying ambassador as well. And what he stands for is incredible, so it's really great to have a chat with him, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
It was really fun to chat to.
Yeah.
Such a character.
Yeah, and I wish that you could see what he was wearing because it was incredible. He looks amazing.
Honestly, like, we're all three of us in that conversation are very, very gay. But I was looking at him and I was like, oof.
I know.
Damn, boy.
I know. I love his top.
Yeah.
You need to ask him where he got it from, Gabs.
I will.
It's a you kind of top.
Oh yeah, I'd wear that.
Yeah.
Catch me in Smashby's top on our first night out.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a massive advocate for anti-bullying and he's done amazing things for the LGBT community, definitely in the UK. And he's growing and upcoming and he's going to be performing at some Pride events when
he's got
things
them
are back to normal.
He's got them all booked in, which is cool.
Yeah, really lovely, genuine guy as well. Had a proper laugh.
What, are you going to give him the juicy goss?
Oh, the juicy goss still. What? Can't be that his crush outed him.
That is
Could
the one. His crush, his teenage love outed him. Oof, bloody hell.
Oh no, that's the last thing you want from your crush, isn't it?
We all like the bad ones.
And you ended up with me.
The golden egg.
What are you talking about? I'm a rebel. In the meantime, till we air the episode, if you want to check out his music and stuff, got some cool hits. We've got Wild Ones, which is an absolute banger. Birthday Suit, we love that. All on iTunes and Spotify.
And they're all an absolute bop, but with a meaningful message. But with a meaningful message behind it. So I think that's really incredible what he's doing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, check him out.
And we shall see you in the next episode of Queer Podcast.
See ya, love.
Bye.
Bye. Love. Gonna go get knocked up.
Because she had a stroke and whatever. Anyway, so she was in LA. And wait, no, it's fine. Like she had
No, sorry, I honestly thought someone just farted then.
Oh,
my
really?
God.
I was wondering why he was looking at me like that.
Who did it? Who did it?
No one. Wait, I'm just hearing
It's
things.
fine. It's fine. Yeah. I'm glad that we're all, over the age of 23 and we're all making fart jokes.
Before you come on, we were testing the mics with farts, seeing who could do the best fart impression.
Well. That's good, Bob. That's good.
It is, isn't it?
Good,
We've been practicing, Annabelle. We've been practicing.
Anyway, back to my grandmother's stroke.